In today's Retro Style Spotlight, we'll talk about several emulator updates and releases, Mega Maker, Castlevania Season 2, Barcode Boy, Kingsway, and a new N64 trademark from Nintendo. As a side note, we've now completely revamped the entire show to transfer away from the LaunchBox YouTube channel over to my channel. As some of you know, I was let go at the start of this month, and there has been an outcry to keep this show going. I'm making tons of changes to everything, like this, all of this. I'm real. So please, let me know what you do and don't like in the comments below. I don't have any extra money right now for better equipment or extra lights, so I'm a little bit more... like, this scene's a little bit more washed out than I want to be. Like, that image back there, it's totally, like... It's overblown. I might just turn it off for the next episode until I can get a light and dim down the whole... turn down the exposure. My microphone doesn't quite exactly reach me. So, I mean, I don't know, but we're trying. You guys wanted the show? And here it is, new and improved. With that said, let's get right to it. Hit it! Thank you to all my patrons who are helping me make this a reality. If you'd like to help support this show and any new ventures that I do, then head on over to the Patreon link in the description below. There are various ways to pledge at the Patreon link in that description, but there are also other donate buttons and Amazon wishlist links if you'd prefer to go different routes. A special thank to my patrons Alex Dubois and Draconis as well for helping support this month at the appropriate levels. I'm also trying to figure out, like, this whole webcam thing, talking to you guys. Script down here, you up there, so sorry if it's a little awkward. I'll get better with the camera as time goes on. This week's emulator roundup is quite long, but the two main ones that I want to talk about today are Cemu and MGBA. Cemu has been updated to 1.8.2, which is out right now for their patrons. Public release will happen soon, but it comes along with a lot of performance improvements, game compatibility improvements, and a ton more. For example, Star Fox Zero and Nintendo Land are reported to be in operating order once more. So head on over to their Patreon link if you want to get that build early or wait like the rest of us for the public release to come out. MGBA, on the other hand, has hit 0.60 and is out for various systems including PC, Linux, Mac, Vita, Wii, and 3DS. Various performance and compatibility updates are here as well as many emulator-specific updates and additions. Remember, MGBA is working on being integrated into a new emulator called Medusa, which includes DS emulation in the long run as well. There have also been various Git updates and releases for other emulators, including, but not limited to, WinVice, 86box, which was previously PCM for the Windows 9X era emulation, Stella, BizHawk, Dolphin, PSX Act, which is a cycle-accurate emulator for PS1, Project 64, RPSC3, C# PSP, Hygen, Desmume, CXBX, and Wine for Linux machines. That list is really long. EmuTOS CSV has also been updated, which is an open source reimplementation of the Atari ST BIOS for those emulators. If you'd like to get any more information about the various emulators that I covered, or what some of them are if you've never heard of them, all the links will be in the description below. In other news, Mario Maker has started infecting other franchises. However, now a fan game called Mega Maker is out and available for free. This Maker game lets users make their own custom Mega Man stages and share them with everyone online. Create full-length Robot Master levels or unique puzzle-only stages. Mega Maker is extremely interesting. Sega has a spotty track record of keeping fan games up and not taking them down, so there is kind of a chance that this may get pulled down in the future, so act it out and download it while it's available. More Maker titles are welcome, but I am hoping for Zelda Maker from Nintendo Official more than anything else. If this sounds like it's up your alley, check it out below. On the old RSS, I talked about Castlevania coming over to Netflix in a very R-rated fashion. Well, while RSS was on hiatus, the show was released and was extremely R-rated, and now Netflix has ordered a second season of that show with a bigger episode count from 4 to 8. With both my wife and I losing our jobs, I haven't really watched the show yet, honestly, but I have heard very good things about this show. The show is written by Warren Ellis, famed comic book writer, and is voiced by James Callis, Matt Frewer, Tony Amendola, and Richard Armitage. Check that show out on Netflix if Castlevania is your jam. From all accounts, it's fantastic, which is shockingly amazing for a video game property that transcended to TV or movies. Usually that shit sucks. So go watch something that's actually good from a video game on Netflix. Oh, that was the key. It's not actually on TV. Japan is strange, and one of those examples today is the Barcode Boy set from Namco for the original Nintendo Game Boy. I've also started a lot of stories off with Japan is strange, so if you've watched RSS in the past, you kind of know where this is going. Strange. Inspired by Barcode Battler, Namco combined that idea with the Game Boy, and the Barcode Boy was born. Connecting to the Game Boy through the link port, different cartridges could be purchased for use with the accessory to provide new experiences to scanning barcodes, all of which complemented by previously unseen visuals that were not possible on basic LCD handhelds, like what it was inspired from. Well, the reason why this is making the cut for news stories this week is because it's now been finally emulated. Not only did I not know that this actually existed, which is shocking for me because I know about a ton of odd and stupid crap around the world from video games, it exists. It's there. That's a desk. Preservationist and programmer Shonumi has taken this peripheral to task and cracked how it works. So technically, 2 other emulators have previously had these functions implemented and emulatable, but they had no clue how it worked, and simulated the barcodes by sending random data. Now, Shonumi's own emulator, GBE Plus, does this in a much more accurate way. So the experience is barcodeless, but the barcodes can be converted into binary files, which are simply uploaded to the emulator and are scanned into the game. The gameplay looks to be fairly simple considering, but it is an extremely niche corner of a Japanese market that is now available in full to everyone. The game data would be protected by copyright law technically speaking, but the barcode files should be able to be freely transferred from player to player. This game can be translated to English, a pack of barcode files uploaded, and you can have one hell of a time fighting with random battlers in this unique, whatever the hell you want to call this type of game. If you've heard me talk about games before, or have been in my streams, you know I love RPGs and simulation/tycoon games quite a lot. Well, Kingsway is an interesting mashup of RPG simulation and Windows 95. That's not a damn joke either. Touted as the #1 operating system for daily tasks such as skeleton mashing and loot organizing. You use this mock OS styled after Windows 95 and 98 to manage your adventure. Every element of the game is a part of the operating system. Enemies and traps are pop-ups, backpacks are the file folders where you organize your items, and quests are emails. The world of Kingsway is randomly generated every time you play, and death is permanent. You can choose various character types, discover a strange land of monsters, bandits, and have tons of adventures. You can choose between good and evil while defeating enemies and plundering crypts. The game just recently came out and you can purchase it on Steam or GOG for $10 USD. Last but not least today, a trademark application has been filed by Nintendo related to the Nintendo 64. Now, before I continue, trademark applications almost always mean nothing. All of the big companies make trademark applications all the damn time, most of which never even come to market in any meaningful way. There is a pattern with these, however, in that similar applications were submitted for the NES and SNES controllers, both of which led to the NES and SNES Classic. So there are people out there thinking that Nintendo is gearing up for an N64 Classic next year. There isn't good enough evidence to assume that Nintendo wants to make this a yearly tradition quite yet, especially with one of those 2 reasons not even released yet, at least in my opinion. There has also been no talk about the Game Boy line, and I would like to think that they tackle that before the N64, but who the hell knows. I've seen lots of wild speculation, but given the mini line of consoles, the excitement here is palpable and at least warrants a discussion. That's all it is right now, a discussion. Either way, I think that this is the way that Nintendo is going. I just hope that it doesn't come at the cost to the Virtual Console service in the long run, which seems to be delayed once more. That story did come out a couple of weeks ago, but because RSS was on a hiatus, I never did get to cover it for you all. So I am very interested in an N64 Classic coming out. I was interested in the NES Classic, kind of, sort of. I'm more interested in the SNES Classic, which I haven't been able to talk on this channel yet. I think that might warrant its own video, an RSS mini, so to speak. So I think I'm going to cover that in its own separate video on its own on my channel. I think that there are certain topics that are going to show up every once in a while that do kind of require their own single video instead of a whole video like this one. But I am interested in the N64. The N64 PS1 generation was the first generation that really I was attached to. I did play the SNES and Genesis, but they weren't really, they were just around. I liked them, I played them, but they weren't really purchased for me. The N64 was the first console purchased for me for Christmas when I was a kid. So that's a console that is very, very nostalgic to me. So an N64 Classic might be on the shelf back there when I do these videos when it's released. And hell, maybe even the SNES Classic if I can actually find it in stock. Or hell, if one of us actually gets a job first. We need money first before I can buy anything. Just throwing that out there. So that was Retro Style Spotlight episode 1. I don't know if I want to do episode numbers or dates yet, but this is the new and revamped RSS. Everything you heard in this episode is in the description below, like usual. Thank you to all my patrons over at my Patreon campaign. Thank you to all my patrons over at my Patreon campaign. Without all of you there on my Discord, in my streams, donating money and items, living for the past month while her and I figure out our lives would not have been possible. I cannot thank you all enough, and I hope RSS is living up to its new expectations. It means the world to me that there's a lot of you out there that really want to see the show continue, and you want to see me make content, you want to watch me stream. So if you like the content, then thank you very much for being here. Trying not to cry on the first new RSS. Thumbs up the video if you liked it, thumbs it down if you didn't. Leave me a comment below on how you think I'm doing. If anything needs to be changed, added, or removed. Let me know your feedback, tell me what you think about these stories, and keep it civil in the comments below. Remember, Freaks and Geeks, to play more games, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.
Take a bite of that pineapple. Reflect